Bonjour, bienvenue à la classe de français. Dans cette unité, nous apprenons le vocabulaire du café, du restaurant et du supermarché. Yes, I will translate that for you. In this unit, we're going to learn vocabulary about cafes, restaurants, and the grocery store. In other words, anything having to do with food. And this is technically our unit 3. So let's be sure to have our notebook ready to take down some vocabulary. So you want your notebook, you want your pen or pencil, you want to be ready to press pause whenever you need to give yourself more time to write or to speak. Completely up to you when you do that. So today's vocabulary we're going to call Unit 3, List A. We haven't really worried too much about lists and calling them different things in the past, but we have lots of vocabulary coming up in this chapter, so it's a good idea for us to have list A, list B, list C, so we know exactly where we are. Okay, so here we go. We're learning food today and things having to do with the table. So food in general and things like lunch, dinner, breakfast, so meals, and also tables, setting the table, fork, spoon, knife, those kinds of words. So the first word we have here, say it after me, is la nourriture. La nourriture. It means food. Say it one more time. La nourriture. Okay, now we're going to talk about different meals. A meal is un repas. Say it after me. Un repas. Un repas. Breakfast. Répétez. Le petit déjeuner. Le petit déjeuner. Lunch. Le déjeuner. Le déjeuner. Dinner. Le dîner. Le dîner. Let's go through all three of these again. Just practice breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Say them after me. Le petit déjeuner. Le petit déjeuner. Le déjeuner. Le déjeuner. Le dîner. Le dîner. All right, and after dinner, le dessert. Same word as in English, 2 S's. Say it again, le dessert. When we go to eat at our house, we have to cook, but we also have to put things on the table, right? We call that setting the table. To set the table, say it after me. It's mettre la table. Mettre la table. One more time. Mettre la table. Excellent. Let's go over how we say it in the past tense. To say I set the table, répétez. J'ai mis la table. J'ai mis la table. Right? J'ai mis is the past tense of mettre, which we learned in our last list of vocabulary that we just went over. To say he set the table, répétez. Il a mis la table. Il a mis la table. And she set the table. Elle a mis la table. Elle a mis la table. Fantastique. Mettre la table. J'ai mis la table. Il a mis la table. Elle a mis la table. All right, what are some of the things we use in order to eat a meal? The first thing is une serviette, which is a napkin. It also happens to mean the word towel as well. Say it after me. Une serviette. Une serviette. Super. A fork is une fourchette. Une fourchette. Right? A fork. Une fourchette. A plate is une assiette. I'm assuming you're saying these after me and that you're pausing when you need to write them down. Une assiette. Always say the vocabulary words after me when we're learning them. A spoon. Une cuillère. Une cuillère. A knife. Un couteau. Un couteau. I would like, you learned last year, but you should probably remember it. Je voudrais. Say it after me. Je voudrais. Je voudrais. So, for example, je voudrais un hamburger. Je voudrais un hot dog. Je voudrais une pizza. Okay, some more dishes now. A cup of tea is une tasse de thé. Say it after me. Une tasse de thé. Une tasse de thé. Cup of coffee? Une tasse de café. Une tasse de café. A glass of water? Un verre d'eau. You can see un verre is a glass, d'eau is of water. Un verre d'eau. Say it again. Un verre d'eau. A glass of orange juice. These are long phrases. Un verre de jus d'orange. Répétez. Un verre de jus d'orange. Ah, to drink is boire. Say it after me. Boire. Boire. We're going to use it mostly in the past tense, so we're going to focus on it in the past tense. I drank. Répétez. I drank. J'ai bu. J'ai bu. I drank. He drank. Il a bu. Il a bu. She drank. Elle a bu. Elle a bu un soda. That would be maybe a milkshake she's drinking. Elle a bu un shake. They call them shake. Elle a bu un shake. Maybe it's a strawberry shake. Elle a bu un shake de fraises. Or un shake à la fraise, depending on whether it has strawberries or whether it's just strawberry flavored. Prendre plus food plus a meal. In English, we have a meal or an item of food, right? So I'm having a cup of coffee. I can say that right now. I'm having a cup of coffee. I'm having a sandwich for lunch. In French, we don't say we have a meal. We say we take a meal. So I'd say I'm taking a cup of coffee. I'm taking lunch at 3. I'm taking dinner with my family. And we use prendre, the verb we know, right? So that's why we put prendre with a food or a meal, and it means to have that food or meal. So in English, I would say I have lunch at the cafe. If you look at the examples here. In French, you'd say je prends le déjeuner au café. I will have a sandwich and a soda, please. Je prends un sandwich et un soda, s'il vous plaît. If you say I have a sandwich in French, it means you actually have the sandwich. We just use have as an idiomatic expression for when we eat a meal or have a piece of food. In French, you always take a meal or take a piece of food. So if we put it in the past tense, right, we just saw, j'ai pris le déjeuner au café. Say it after me. J'ai pris le déjeuner au café. Il a pris le déjeuner au café. Elle a pris le déjeuner au café. Okay, here's a good sentence. Au café, j'ai pris un chocolat et de la pâtisserie. Pâtisserie is pastry, so I got a hot chocolate and some pastries. Au café, j'ai pris un chocolat et de la pâtisserie. Now, how am I going to say I had an omelet? See if you can do that one in French out loud. J'ai pris une omelette. How about she had a sandwich? Elle a pris un sandwich. He had a pizza. Il a pris une pizza. See how that works? Il a pris une pizza. We would say have or had. They say took. He took a pizza. In other words, he ate a pizza. So let's practice in this vocabulary. I want you to look at your notes if you need to. It's not a quiz. You can always look at notes when we're doing our video practice. All right, let's say what this guy is doing. It's the middle of the day. He's eating. What meal would I say he's eating? Le déjeuner. Super. How about breakfast? Le petit déjeuner. Lunch? Le déjeuner. Dessert? Le dessert. Lunch? Le déjeuner. Food? Excuse me. La nourriture. A napkin? Une serviette. Ooh, sorry, I went too fast there. A spoon? Une cuillère. A fork? Une fourchette. I keep going too fast, I'm sorry. A plate? Une assiette. A cup of tea? I'm having trouble here, aren't I? Une tasse de thé. A cup of coffee? Une tasse de café. A glass of water? Un verre d'eau. A glass of orange juice? Un verre de jus d'orange. Ah, how about to drink? Boire. I drank, right? It's j'ai bu. How about he drank? Il a bu. She drank? Elle a bu. Ah, what does j'ai mis la table mean in English? I set the table, right? I set the table. How about well, let's do he first. He set the table. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. She set the table. Elle a mis la table. He set the table. Il a mis la table. Super. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our independent work, practicing these exciting verbs and vocabulary that we have just learned. Mostly what we learned were nouns with a few verbs sent in there. So this is where I wish you au revoir. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Salut!